think we're back. Streaming has started. We should have the debug port turned on in the way that it just said we should do. Let me find my Chrome window, and we can get back to it. I have a console running now so that I can see what OBS is logging. So this is going to get a little weirdly meta. You know, here's the internals of OBS running while we're using OBS to stream. It'd be nice if that was transparent. I don't have a good way to make individual windows transparent, but we could be getting a lot closer with a lot of this messing around. Okay, so let's bring up Chromium, which I thought I had open. Yep, here we are. Yes, check this out. Now we have an inspector to run. Let's make the browser visible. I have this handy little pop-up here to show you, and by making it very transparent, we can still see it. I apologize if that just looks like boiled crap. Maybe I can make it just a little more transparent, and opacity all the way. Okay, now we've got our little pop-up here. You can see the gray for the background, and now we can poke the debugger, say what else is happening here. And we can poke around in the DOM and say, hey, let's get rid of like this button at the bottom here. Just right-click, delete, and it's gone. Cool. We have a refresh button here, so we can easily refresh. And in theory, we can just communicate using the console and just write some commands to say, hey, go ahead and call some functions here. So let's start rewriting. Can I actually click in here? Yeah, I can click in here. So it behaves like this is a remote browser instance. Cool. Let's start changing the app. And let's just replace the entire contents of this. Find the on-module load. Replace the entire contents with just a timer that displays our notifications over and over again. So app is our entry point, and all the app does is instantiate Domino do. So let's start off a little more simply here and say new timer needs to be a quit timer, right? Or just dom global set timeout. And then we give it a function and a delay. And the function is going to be, what do we have to have a parameter here? I don't know what that argument should be. Is it an arg array or something? Yeah, it's all the arguments that are passed in. We want to say notification. Oops. Is that not it? We saw the docs for this. I kind of lost them though. Got too many things going right now. Yeah, here we go. It's Domino do itself. I'm afraid to start closing these because I'm going to lose. Here we go, notification.create. So there's a notification class in the latest build, which is almost a month old. Oh, there's more than one class called notification. That's a little sketch. Whatever. There we go. Set position. Let's put them up there. That is, can I not point that way? There we go. No, not there. I want it there. My view, it's there. Your view, it's there. So that would be the top right. And let's make this have a counter. So that we can get some kind of an idea about which one is which. We'll put the counter there. We'll do a plus plus, so it starts off at 1. And then, do we have a timeout we can set on this? Well, let's just take a look what other options we've got on it. Set position, set background, set closable, set infinite. Must have a default. Infinite defaults to false. Duration, there we go. So 4 seconds seems about right, so we'll have 4 visible at a time if we do 1 per second. Let's do some odd number, that way the new one appears while the other one is hiding. Let's make a new method for this. And then after you do a show, let's start a new timer. Okay, so this is awful to have to do this, but we're going to recompile from scratch here. We don't have Super Dev Mode running yet. Super Dev Mode is probably the next step. If we fire up Super Dev Mode, we can just load up the port that it exposes instead of the port that IntelliJ is currently giving us. And then we should be able to debug that live. Let's make this small because I don't need it anymore. Put it over there. Let's find that debugger. All right, here we are. Refresh. Something's not working. Oh, hey, there it is. It's just very tiny. It's in the corner. Okay, so let's bump that opacity back up again. Check that out. It's a little small. It's doing every 3.5 seconds. And they only last for 4 seconds, so that's about right. I think we want the duration to be longer. It says transition duration, transaction duration. Oh no, that is not what we want. We want this. So let's go with 10 seconds instead. All right. Let's pick a random color. Do we have HSL stuff in here? Or HSV? I would really like to pick nice, pretty random colors for each message. I guess we could do, well, okay, so this is going to be a separate problem, because we want them to be, to stand out a little bit, be obvious and easy to find. We'll worry about that in a little bit. Let's just give these right now a background color. It's kind of bright. We'll start with this green, I guess. Material design color. I don't know. Blue probably makes more sense. We got that Vertis band blue. It probably makes sense to start there. I'll get the actual color for that soon. See what the color thing is supposed to be. We're supposed to say... nope, that's the wrong one. We want this one. Set background, and then we've got a color object that will give us a big enum. So for now, we'll just go with a slightly dark blue, I guess. We really want to get Super Dev Mode. So that after this, we should have at least 3 on the screen at a time, 2 to 3 on the screen at a time. And then we'll get Super Dev Mode running so that we can get a quicker refresh here as things show up. So as you can see, we've got this little tiny window here, which is the live what's happening. And then the real thing is this one that I can't even touch because it's under it's on top of my mouse. So let's try refreshing this. Blue. Okay, that's not terrible. We'll work on it. We got 2, 3, 4, and fade the third. Okay. Well, that is a little weird how it's fading that. Sliding back under it. I wonder if it is supposed to fade and slide at the same time. All right, let's get rid of the closable. This is just another quick and dirty thing we can do. Because there's no reason for that X, because I can't click on it anyway. And eventually we'll get this sourced from a server-side pump, and we might have a second implementation for the for me to control it, to have a local control of what's happening. I mean, I could easily imagine the little array of buttons device, which is name, I can't remember, Stream Deck, using the Stream Deck to say, let's interact directly with this. You know, clear all notifications, hide all notifications, something like that. Okay, let's super dev mode. The README tells me how to set up super dev mode. I am not always good at following directions. So if we just do this, we might be able to just load up localhost 9876 and go to a particular URL and then live edit it. No, yeah, 9876, that's correct. It's not running yet because it's still doing the initial compile. It's not happy about shared. Not a GWT-lib. Probably should be. All right, we'll let this finish. We'll try to load it in the regular browser first, and then we will tell OBS to use that URL instead, and then we'll be able to grab it from this dialog here. Okay, code server has started. If I go here, we've got our bookmarklets. App is here. The HTML file is right there. It's going to compile on the fly as we need it, which we're going to end up getting on the whole screen here. That'll be kind of fun. Whenever we make a change, we'll get the little pop-up. I don't want this gray thing to happen because it'll gray me out. So we're going to need to figure out what's up with that. It doesn't have a class of any kind, so that's kind of lame. I have to think about that. All right, well, it came online. So here's our real example of this. And then we can grab this URL and put it directly into OBS. I guess I could just paste it here. Would that work? Yeah, it does. And then we got a breakpoint because we don't match the pre-built. That's cool. That's pretty cool. All right, so now I can hit that refresh button whenever I make a change and have the changes be immediately reflected. So what's next? Let's do a timer. Let's do a countdown timer. We'll make a button for it. This isn't really the timer. This is the schedule sample notification. We'll do a timer button, I guess. Okay, so here's where we have to learn a little about Domino. This was easy because this is a pop-up, right? It's not a modal pop-up. It just appears somewhere in the screen. There we go. Next, we're going to want to say, look at how Domino Do used to start itself up. Well, I should eat lunch soon. You know what? Let's do this one more thing, and then I think we're going to call it success for right now, and I will rejoin later because that's pretty good. Let's see. Domino Do starts off by saying run. The run method will build some data. It'll build a layout. It will append something directly to the body. Do we have other references to body in here? I bet I used to in the main app. Yep. No, that's just what we call run. So what was creating the layout and attaching it to the page? The body gets the add element added directly, but the layout doesn't. The layout gets referenced. It gets created, it gets content set on it, but I don't see where it's ever attached to the page. So maybe a layout automatically gets attached. Oh boy. This is the watch Colin embarrass himself part. Um, no, that's adding CSS to the body. It's a little weird. I'm sure there's a reason for it. Reveal the layout and append it to the page body. Okay, so there's a show call that ostensibly will be made from here. Oh, I bet it used to be. No, it was just run. Yeah, okay. So layout.show would give it a color theme, which apparently would apply the theme on top of the existing one. I'm a little worried about that. How does it garbage collect the old one? But whatever. That's an Ahmed problem, not a Colin problem. If it's not attached, then it will append it, and then return this so you can chain more things on. Okay. I don't think I necessarily need an append. So for example, it looks like we can just say append when you've got an element directly. So we want some kind of a HTML box to draw some stuff in. Let's look at the samples real quick and see if there's anything that vaguely represents. I mean, these are not terrible. I don't love any of the icons specifically for our case. A plain clock would be nice. I don't really want the alarm clock there. Cover's kind of nice. A lot of thought into this that I am just not good at. So at some point, we're going to have to kick this over to Ahmed and to Justin to say, hey, can you guys, make this pretty and useful? Spin. What's spinning? Oh, they're spinners. Got it. So we could specify how long it's going to need to be for nails. They're designed to showcase linked images. Okay. Don't care. Progress bar could be fun. So we want to put all this into some kind of a panel to say, hey, here's the thing we're waiting on. So let's make notes, and I'm going to deliberately leave us in an unfinished state so that when I come back from lunch, we'll have some stuff to do here. So we're going to say make a panel to hold the content. Start with the, is it a card? It's not really a card. What are chips? It's not really that. Info box? It's more of an info box. We want to use the progress bar. And then start a timer that updates the time remaining and the progress bar. Okay. So let's get the first little piece of it going. Something like this. Oh, they're called hover effects. Got it. Okay. So we'll start by stealing that. Info box, icons. Nope, not that icons. Not that one. Dot all. Dot block. Oh, I don't even know what we got here. We got a lot to go off of. They all equal all? Oh, I see. That way you can filter a little bit. Curious about that. We're gonna need a list of all the icons to go through. This is the kind of bike shedding you're really here for. Oh boy. Um, that's not terrible. AV timer. Timeline. Yeah, we'll do AV timer. That sounds good. Access time. Oh, access time is pretty much exact. Okay, let's do access time. Is show going to work? Is it just going to pop up somewhere? Get collapsible.show. Oh, I see. That's expand collapse. That is a little misleading. We're all good though. Let's see what else we were doing in this to set up these pop-ups or these little boxes. Hover effect. Oh, you specify a hover effect. Okay, cool. And then we just append it to something. So I don't know. Body. Sure. And then where's my little refresh button? The debugger is still mad at me, and it does not look like it's actually recompiling when I refresh. So that's irritating. We should have seen a little recompile pop-up. Let's look in the regular browser. Might be the super dev mode isn't quite doing what we want here. What is this? App index? Yeah, it's not recompiling. Super dev mode isn't kicking in. We're probably hitting the wrong endpoint for super dev mode to kick in. Hit this. Does that give it to me? It's the wrong one. This is a different super dev mode. All right, wait till we're back up again. So this is not the nicest way to recompile, but we'll get there. Let's see. My debug window went where? Well, I'm not handling this very well. We're going to need like actual, where does this always go? So I'm consistent about this stuff. Let's get a little refresh and see if we get a big thing right front and center. Oh, debugger. The Be Right Back screen's across the top. Okay, that's not ideal. We're gonna need that to go into something else to handle. Oh, hey, look, the browser console gets dumped here. Gecko does not match with Safari. Expect more errors. Don't mind if I do. All right, I'm gonna put this on pause here because it is sort of working, even if it's a little horrifically ugly, especially when you look up here at this piece here. That is not how our Be Right Back screen should end up looking. But we also don't have the code finished here. We got a lot more to do here. This is really just vaguely stubbing in that particular one there, that particular line of code. And then once we've got this in some kind of a smaller container to say, hey, don't stretch it and force it to fit the whole page, but just let it be its own thing and even centered in the page. We will also call back to the scene mechanism through OBS to say, please trigger the Be Right Back screen. That way the timer can stay there, and then probably we'll have to manually turn off Be Right Back. I wouldn't want this, if I'm busy dealing with small children or whatever else it might be. I wouldn't want this to automatically come back and blank screen, Colin's not here. Maybe we'll have a more fun, Colin's not back yet, where is he? Animation that can kick in. Okay, cool. I'm gonna end the stream for right now then, and I will be back hopefully in about half an hour, maybe 40 minutes, to get a little more work done. Yeah, see if we can put a little more polish on this. It looks like we should be able to strip off almost all this project. I do want to keep it around for a little bit longer because there's all kinds of fun hints in here from people having done this before. Ahmed specifically to say, hey, how do we... Yeah, this floating thing here, that might be the ticket. Just to say, hey, make that an individual one-off thing. But animations and stuff, making things nicely appear and disappear. So thanks for hanging out. I feel like this has been a pretty short stream to start customizing how this works. And I probably have to take some notes. Maybe when I come back, that's what we'll do. We'll write a README, start analyzing what kinds of stuff we came up with, what kind of steps you have to take once you've got OBS working, how to debug it. And we probably will need to scale this up the more I think about it. I just don't think that's going to cut it. So, see you soon.